Joining us on this Tuesday, our guy, MSG PM, NBA contributor, the one and only Stephen Aretha Novak. How are you feeling, my man? How you living?
I'm living good. Look, if there's going to be a shift from whatever my middle names used to be to Diva middle names, and now I'm Stephen, Aretha, Franklin, Novak, you know what? I'm all good with it. I really am.
You know,
we love that.
We all know you're such a hot shot diva in your playing days, so I think it was just right. I think it was just right with the showmanship. Let's talk about this Knicks backcourt. The Kemba Walker, Derrick Rose experiment is about a month away, and those two point guards have amassed a lot of accolades, but they're all in different points of their careers. How do you see them meshing together with this new team?
I think it's going to be a really big deal, how they play, and I think not only how they individually play, but how they can play together. I think that is the hope, that both of these guys can somehow stay healthy, can have a really big impact on this team. I think it is the biggest role on any NBA team is that starting point guard spot, kind of what they can bring you from a facilitation standpoint or a scoring standpoint. And I do look at this Knicks offseason, and I think to myself, what was the biggest priority that the Knicks went after and tried to lock down? And that was for sure that point guard spot. Obviously signing Randall back and making sure he got his extension, but having Kemba, who has certainly been a guy who you're not sure if he's going to play the whole year, but a guy who can score the ball a ton and be a really big impact player, along with D Rose. I look at those guys as perhaps splitting that starting role, and there's no doubt if those guys can stay healthy, and even if they can both play half a season or just not as many minutes, I think it can be a huge deal for this Knicks team.
Okay, so Steve, you mentioned the big acquisitions. Yes, Kemba's a part of that, but Evan Fournier is another banner piece of what the Knicks did in the offseason. How do you see his game fitting in with a much improved Julius Randle and an RJ Barrett, who I believe will continue to take the next step?
You know, I do think that's really why Evan Fournier was signed. I think because he really does complement and bring to this Knicks team the piece that's needed alongside an RJ Barrett and a Julius Randle. When I say that, what I mean is he is a wing player who doesn't dominate the ball, but shoots it really efficiently. He's a big-time three-point shooter, and he's not just a spot three-point shooter. Over 35% of his points last year were unassisted points. And so if you look at a Reggie Bullock, who I'm not saying that Fournier specifically replaced him, but there's no doubt Bullock going to the Mavs and Fournier coming into the Knicks, that does seem to be that piece that he filled. And Bullock was making just 6% of his points were unassisted. So he was basically a catch-and-shoot guy, obviously a good defender. But I do think Fournier gives those guys like R.J. Barrett and Randall a lot of space and really a threat on the floor to knock those perimeter shots down, which specifically for R.J. Barrett I think is going to be a very good thing.
Novi, Woj from ESPN dropped the news that Ben Simmons will not be returning to the team or reporting to training camp while they work out a trade for him. He's a star player, even though he's much maligned. And Novi, you've been on teams with star players. When things like this happen, whether they're holding out for contracts and not reporting to training camp, how does that really affect the team, or does it affect you guys at all?
You know, it really does disrupt a team. There's no doubt when you come into a season, there's so much happening, so much bonding and chemistry that you're trying to build pretty much immediately. And if you don't even know if one of your best or your best player is going to be there, or will he be there in the beginning and then maybe be added later on once he decides he wants to be on that team, it's extremely disruptive. And I think at this point, for him to have 4 years left on his contract and for it to be very well understood, Daryl Morey and Doc Rivers, they have put him out there. They're trying to make a trade for him to get him somewhere that he wants to be so it can be a win-win, I think, for Ben Simmons and for the franchise. But every other team out there, I think, because of the way that this has been gone about, they're just not offering up the kind of guys that obviously the Philadelphia 76ers want to take back. And so, look, Ben Simmons, he is on a contender. He is on a team that I think has said, we want you back. And so he's not in a terrible spot. It doesn't appear from the things he's saying he has any interest in ever putting a Philly jersey on again. But it's hard to know, I guess, how this is going to end up because he is under contract and they can start to fine him over $225,000 per game that he misses. And so I think that's the aspect of this that's kind of being forgotten by Ben Simmons. There is a little leverage by the team still.
He's not helping himself, Novi. Like, I don't understand in what world you think showing not only was I afraid to take this layup that everybody has blown out of proportion, because you're right, I do still think Ben Simmons has value. He's a former Defensive Player of the Year, always in that conversation. He's been an all-star. But now I'm not going to be a team player or a professional? Like, you're not helping yourself, dude. What are you doing?
Yeah, no, the thing you just said, Monica, that's so true is I was in the NBA for 11 years, and there is a huge difference between being unhappy and being unprofessional. And I think that it's usually very respected if a guy who isn't playing or isn't playing well or doesn't have the role that he wants is unhappy. That's expected of you. You're supposed to want more. You're supposed to be pushing yourself. You're supposed to be being better the next game and the next year than you were before. But being unprofessional, I think, is a totally different thing. That's not showing up. That's not bringing your game. That's not putting the work in. And that's, like you're saying, not being a good teammate. And so the difference between true professionals in the NBA is you can be unhappy and still be professional. And the truth is, so many guys that stay in the league for a long time, they are able to distinguish between those two things. We're not seeing it right now with Ben Simmons, that's for sure.
All right, well, let's move on to something a little bit more lighthearted. Now we can laugh. I'm sure there might have been some tears shed at one point over this one. You got Dennis Schroeder last week, Novi, who had this wonderful post of himself, a picture with a bunch of designer bags, and the caption was, insert fumble the bag joke here on his birthday.
Yeah, that's never great. Fumbled the bag. I think he's obviously making light of it and having fun with it. But you're right. I think that this has got to be a pit in his stomach for sure. He had turned down 4 years, $84 million. And I think the only way that you can probably deal with this after you sign 1 year, $6 million with the Boston Celtics is to do like everybody does now, is to go on social media and make fun of yourself instead of letting the trolls get their way and letting them make fun of you. So I do give him a lot of credit for being lighthearted and making fun of it and asking everybody else, hey, please share with me some of the misery that you guys have gone through. Although most people have never lost 84 million, or I guess in this case, 78.
Can't
not this good because he signed for 6. But God bless him. I hope he gets his money back somehow.
We know one person who's never fumbled a bag, and that's this diva in the middle right here, Steve Novak. He leaves no money on the table. Let's fast forward. We're a few weeks away from the season tipping off in training camp, and before we get into all that, of course, we got NBA Media Day. So, Novi, were you a big fan of NBA Media Day in your playing days?
Media Day, it definitely is.
Look at that handsome young fella. Oh, my goodness.
What is this pose?
I really don't know. Here's why I didn't like Media Day, because especially this is as a rookie. All right, I just got drafted out of Marquette University, and they say, we have $5,000 for you for this rookie photo shoot. And you think to yourself, my God, I've hit the jackpot. I'm going to take this $5,000 and feel really wealthy. I signed my new NBA deal. But then they start to make you do things that you're not real comfortable doing, like a pose like this, and you just go along with it, not knowing you can be a diva like Monica and Kaz, you're teaching me, and I could have said, I'm in the NBA,
I was about to say, there's some little Kim Meg Thee Stallion, getting the knees going, happening with the photo. So, like, the diva theme, you're just all over it today, Novi.
I don't really know what's happening right now.
knees.
You guys told me we were going to talk about the Knicks in the NBA, and now all of a sudden we're talking about Megan the Stallion and Steve the Diva. So I feel like, it's really not fair, but I understand now. If I'm in the middle, this is what happens. I understand.
Oh my gosh. My cheeks hurt from smiling and laughing at that one. That was hilarious. Okay, let's focus back. Novi, this year, we'll have the privilege of working with one of my industry colleagues and friends as the Milwaukee Bucks organization makes history as being the first Power 5, first of the big 3 sports to hire a woman in the play-by-play chair full time. Lisa Byington will join you all's broadcast squad. I'm super pumped for her. Tell me how you feel. How excited is Milwaukee?
I think Milwaukee's really excited. Look, she's replacing a legend in Jim Paschke, who was doing play-by-play for 35 years. And having Lisa, I think, come in, she has spoken to Jim Paschke and the incredible job that he had done over the last few decades. And now she just has spoken to, I think, what an honor it's going to be to work for the Milwaukee Bucks organization. But obviously, we have to just state the elephant in the room. She is the first woman to be for a major sports team doing full-time play-by-play. It's an incredible accomplishment. She's going to be working alongside myself and Marcus Johnson and Zora Stevenson, who's done a fantastic job in her 2 years with the Bucks. And so I've heard Lisa do big-time games, whether it's NCAA, men's and women's basketball, but NBA games and WNBA. So although, yes, we've talked about the historic nature of her being a woman doing this, I think she's obviously overly qualified, and I think it's really awesome that she's going to be the one in that play-by-play seat.